Hello, everyone. It's Teacher Nikki here, and today I'm going to be interviewing Jen from 5-1 Talk. And Jen, can you tell us what you want to share with us today?
Sure. Today I'd like to share some information about the online teaching opportunity that exists because I know for myself and many others, we had no idea there was this job opportunity. And I'd also like to share some tips for feedback, giving meaningful feedback to students to help their second language fluency develop.
Tell me a little bit about yourself before we get started.
I've been teaching for 15 years. I live in Canada and I have been a French immersion teacher.
Oh,
And we have a program in Canada. We can opt to learn French for half of the day and learn half of our subjects in French. It's very popular. And we have a shortage of French speaking people in our
okay.
country. So it has given me so many opportunities. When
Yeah.
I graduated, I got a job right away, even though there were few jobs for teachers.
Yeah.
And I worked for 2 years as a consultant, and
Hmm.
I visited the French teachers in my district and gave them training, and we taught together, and that was great. And then I stumbled on 5-1 Talk.
How did you stumble across 5-1 Talk?
My husband was looking for a career change, and I was looking at job postings for him. And then I saw the job posting for 5-1 Talk, and I thought, oh, this could be good for me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll give this a try. I wonder if this is legitimate. Is this too
Yeah.
good to be true? I had never heard of online teaching overseas.
Yeah, I know. Great. And so tell us about the opportunity. So have you learned being at 5-1 Talk?
I have learned, first of all, that there is this opportunity, that it exists, that you can teach from the comfort of your home or hotel or wherever you have a good internet connection to teach students from China, and that this is a huge market. Given the population of China, it just seems limitless. And they are thirsty for knowledge, and it's such a highly competitive country because of the sheer population. So it's a good match for North American teachers, specifically given the time zone difference and the time difference.
Exactly. Yeah. It is a wonderful opportunity. Like you said, you can teach from anywhere. You talked about giving feedback, but before we get into that, can you talk a little bit about the lessons and some tips you had mentioned to me in our communication online that you have good tips for extensions, correct?
Yes.
So go ahead.
Okay, so, and I think this comes from having the privilege of being a classroom teacher also. We're
Sure.
always extending, finding cross-curricular connections with the world. So one example would be, and this can go in the lesson memo. So we spend a few minutes after the lesson just giving some immediate feedback about the lesson.
Mhm.
So for example, if a topic is panda bears, I'll have a quick search on the internet. I have some go-to good quality websites, and I'll say, visit this site. And I check in advance, does it work in China? Do they have access to that site? Especially if it's a video. If it's a video, I use a Chinese site to search to make sure they can see it, like Youku, their version of YouTube.
That's wonderful. You're actually teaching me something right now because I never even thought about just sharing the link with them. That's so obvious though. Usually what I do is like I'll use my phone and I'll show them a picture of something to add in, the the extension that way with a visual. So I really love that. How do you find out if the website is available in China? Is there like a certain go-to list or?
I have a go-to student, a regular student, and I'll say in the next lesson, were you able to see that link? Or I'll ask the mom or dad, can you access this link? Or sometimes they'll thank me before I have a chance. So thank you for sending that. That was great practice. We have some math lessons. So there are so many games available online. If you do a quick search, like I had one yesterday, math patterns with shapes. And I thought, I bet there's a really good game for this. And sure enough, there was.
Okay. Do you think you could share maybe some of your favorite links that you
Yeah,
use? Okay.
absolutely.
So we'll put that in the description on the YouTube video. That's really a great piece of advice for people to go
Thank you.
to. Sometimes, we finish lessons a little early. It depends on the type of lesson you have. So at 5-1 Talk, I've noticed that the lessons range from 10 slides to maybe 25 slides. Or
Yes.
sometimes if you're with adults, there's 7 slides. So I've noticed for me, the ones that are 10 slides for kids tend to go rather fast. It
Yes.
does it does tell you, leave 1 minute for this slide or 2 minutes for this slide. But even still, it's like you have to, if it's just like, say this word, there's like 2 words on the page. What do you do to extend that?
Sure. So, and I think, and this has, I've become better with practice and getting used
Yeah.
to this company in this format, and it will become so natural to you. And especially when you have the repeat student, you know their pacing. You've got some students who rush through and they've already mastered it. So you've got to extend for those students, give them some sentence instructions. Sometimes I'll do a multiple choice. I'll say, for example, what was it? I did one today. A flower. There was a rose mentioned in the story. And I said, what is a rose? Is it something to eat? Is it a flower? Or is it a tree? And they pick A, B, or C. And then I say, oh, good, let's practice that in a big sentence. It is a flower. What color is it? This kind of thing to extend. Or maybe I'll teach a song at the end. If it's something like animals, for example, I have some go-to songs that are simple, especially for those level 0 learners, and you think, uh-oh, there's just a letter on this page. It's a phonics lesson. How am I going to stretch this out? Like Raffi, the singer Raffi, has so many good songs like Mommy's taking us to the zoo tomorrow. We can stay all day. There's so many nice, simple go-to songs to connect to the lesson material.
Okay, great. So we'll add that in the description too. If you have links, or
Sure.
if you just want to say a few that you use, that would be great. So now let's move on to leaving feedback. Why is feedback important, and does it help you with your increasing your business with getting more parents, getting more students?
I guess I'll never know for sure if it has increased my bookings, but I really think, I suspect it does. I read other people's memos and I think, oh, that wasn't very descriptive, or that was very generic. And you want to stand apart. You want to be that professional teacher from beginning to end. And I think also it can be a chance to contextualize learning and tell the child, today we talked about animals. You told me the names of giraffes, zebras, and you knew other animals outside of the lesson. And then, I like to sandwich the praise, make it very specific to the student and that lesson, and then provide an extension if it applies.
Yeah,
And,
that's
and also research shows that meaningful descriptive feedback can increase student achievement. And there's research to suggest that it does so more so than a grade.
interesting. That's fantastic. Yeah. So how long is your feedback? Is it just a paragraph
Yeah,
or okay.
just a paragraph. Unless it's an adult, sometimes there's more to describe. Maybe I find adults, sometimes they're preparing for the IELTS test, and it could be a life-altering experience. They're so success-driven and opportunity-driven.
Yeah.
So they might want feedback on their writing and on their grammar and on their speech. So maybe I'll hit on those 3 areas of language.
Yeah, that's definitely true. The feedback for adults can be a little bit different for sure. And I love working with the adults because you can have those extended conversations and
Yes.
you're learning more about the Chinese culture and how hard they work and their humor. So it's a lot of fun.
I agree. Sometimes those ones, they're so refreshing, and it's nice to have a balance. Maybe you've sang all day and you've expended high energy on,
Uh-huh.
and that's, oh, okay, good. It's especially if it's a regular, it becomes like a friend.
It
You know,
does.
student Sean, I no longer have him as a student. It's bittersweet. He passed his
Mhm.
IELTS and he got the job of his dreams. So
Oh,
now we keep in touch on QQ just to say hello, how's it going? And I felt like I was talking with a friend.
yeah.
His English was excellent and he's such a nice, genuine person that I felt like I'm getting paid to talk with someone I enjoy talking with.
Isn't that amazing? I absolutely love that. And look at how your work with him.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Someone's going to join us. My
Yeah.
little guy. Antonio, say
Hey.
hi.
What a cutie.
Thank you.
So, yeah, no, your work with him, look at how it paid off. That's really rewarding,
It
you
is.
know? And you get to see that too with your regulars, how much work you put into it and seeing them progress. It's one of the most rewarding experiences. So, I love that. All right. Well, we are going to be wrapping up soon here. Can you let us know any, words of wisdom before we say goodbye?
Sure. Sure. I think some advice is really to always give it your best. From your full effort. You never know who could your next regular student be. And don't be discouraged. Maybe you're wondering the first time, oh, this person's not really participating. Does he like me? Does she like me? And give it time. That maybe it's very brave to learn a second language.
Yeah,
And
it
for a
is.
small child, it can be a very different experience. They're looking at a foreigner on a screen.
Yeah.
Maybe they've never used a video chat before. So to be very patient and kind, make it a very welcoming and safe environment.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
I really appreciate you joining us today, and your tips were very valuable for us, even me. So, and I've been doing this for almost 2 years now, so I really appreciate that. And if you ever do want to join us again, or if you know another teacher that would like to do an interview like this, definitely put them in contact with me or reach out to me. And that's all for now.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.